Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you.
Welcome back, trainers, battlers, and girls at PvP. This is Pogo Joel here coming at you with some PvP content for today. If you haven't heard of me before, I'm Pogo Joel. I come up with event guides, tips and trick videos, and some PvP content. And for today's video, we will be discussing the Voyager Cup, which is the Silph Arena Cup for the month of April. If you are into Go Battle League, or maybe you're frustrated with it and you want to try something else PvP related, check out silph.gg. It is an awesome community where you can battle with people in your area or across the world. Right now it's super easy to join. You need some friend space, maybe a gift, or the ability to open a gift. Anyways, the Voyager Cup is an awesome meta. What it's going to be is you get to select Pokemon from each region to make up a team of 6. You have Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 through 6 for your 5th slot, and your 6th slot is open. So, without further ado, let's get right into the Kanto picks. If you find this helpful, please drop a like, subscribe. Please tell me in the comment section what Pokemon are you using from Kanto Gen 1. Let me know down there, and let's get right into the video. Up first, we have Venusaur, a powerful grass and poison type Pokemon with an attack of 198, defense of 189, and a stamina of 190. It's only going to be weak to fire, flying, ice, and psychic, all things that are going to be in this cup. And it's going to have a 2 times resistance to grass and resisting electric, fairy, fighting, and water. Now for the ideal moveset, you're going to want Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, and Sludge Bomb. If you don't have Frenzy Plant, don't worry, there is going to be another option for you. But right now, let's focus on Venusaur. It's one of the most powerful, versatile Pokemon in the game, especially as a grass type. It's arguably one of the best grass types. It's right up there with Tropius. The reason that this thing is so good is you have Frenzy Plant, the Community Day move, which hurts so many Pokemon, and it does neutral damage to a lot of things, and it even hurts things that it resists. So things that resist grass do not appreciate Frenzy Plant as well. And then you have Sludge Bomb for that coverage. Sludge Bomb is going to help you beat out other grass types like Meganium that could be in the cup, or even Tropius. And that Sludge Bomb is going to hurt the fairies if someone has brought in a fairy. And it's also going to do neutral damage to some things that resist grass. So if you're going up against a flyer, you might want to just throw that Sludge Bomb instead of Frenzy Plant and do a little more damage. So Venusaur, a very strong choice for your team. Definitely one worth considering, and definitely one of the strongest Kanto picks at the moment. Currently coming in at number 1 for Kanto. Up next, we have a double legacy Pokemon that is very rare to have. If you have one of these, congratulations. We have Dewgong, a water and ice type Pokemon with an attack of 139, defense of 177, and a stamina of 207. It's going to be resisting ice and water types, so looking at you, Azumarill. And it's going to be only weak to electric, fighting, grass, and rock. Whoa, that is some interesting weaknesses there. So if you decide to use this, be aware. The cool thing about this double legacy Dewgong, you want Ice Shard and Icy Wind. Those are the legacy movesets that you want. And then Icy Wind has a 100% chance to decrease your opponent's attack by 1 stage. So while you're throwing off those spammy icy winds, you're decreasing your opponent's attack. So they're either gonna stay in and get that attack dropped a lot, or they are gonna have to switch out if they want more attack. And Icy Wind does a pretty good amount of damage to just about anything, so a very interesting Pokemon there. And for your secondary move, you're going to want Water Pulse. Water Pulse is going to help you counter some of the rock and fire types that you might go up against, since fire is neutral, and give you some extra little coverage on damage there. But Dewgong is insanely awesome. If you have Ice Shard, Icy Wind, congratulations. If you only have one, I think the more important move to have is Icy Wind. But test it out, try it out. It is so much fun. If you want to see me highlight it a little bit more, I did use it in one of my tournaments. forgive me, this was a time when TMs were bad and very scarce. Times have changed, but I'll leave a link right here to that tournament where I did use it for the first time. Made it 2 days before the tournament. Didn't have any TMs, but I still used it, and I think I ended up second in that one. Link there. And Dewgong is an awesome Pokemon. It's interesting to build around, making a balanced team, but it's definitely a fun one, and there are some pretty top trainers who did use double legacy Dewgong. So if you have that, congratulations. If not, be aware of it, and let's get right into the next Pokemon. Up next on the rankings, we have Lapras. Lapras coming in third in Kanto. It is a water and ice type Pokemon with a attack stat of 165, a defense of 174, and a stamina of 277. And it is going to be resisting ice and water, and then it does have that 2 times resistance to ice. Its weakness is going to be to electric, fighting, grass, and rock. Now for the fast move, you have some options here for you. We have Water Gun or Ice Shard. Ice Shard is a legacy moveset that was available for a raid day and through research, so you might have access to this. You most likely do. But if you don't, Water Gun works just as well. Now for the charge moves, it gets interesting here. You can go Surf and Ice Beam. That's a pretty good coverage there. Or you can go Skull Bash, which is just a big hard-hitting move that is going to increase your defense there and make you a little more bulky. So a lot of different things you can do with your build on Lapras. It's a very interesting Pokemon and still holds up pretty good. So be aware of it if it does come out and make an appearance. It is a pretty tanky Pokemon. And our next restricted pick is going to be Hypno, a pure psychic type Pokemon with an attack of 144, a beefy defense of 193, and a beefy stamina of 198. It's going to be resisting fighting and psychic. It's going to be weak to bug, dark, and ghost. Now for the fast move, without question, you're going to be using Confusion, a hard-hitting but slow move that is going to hurt a lot of those fighters and delete some poison types, so look out Venusaur. And the movesets that it is showing here on PvPoke were Psychic, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast. Didn't have room to capture the other one, but if you do have a Legacy Psyshock, that is going to be a good one too. Psyshock is going to be neutral damage to a lot of things. And then for your second move, you have some choices to make. Are you going to go with a Elemental Punch, Fire for some extra punches against Registeel, maybe Bastion, Ice Punch for covering grass types and maybe those flyers, Thunder Punch for water and flying, Shadow Ball for a hard-hitting move and is able to delete a lot of other ghosts, or do you go Focus Blast that is going to be able to annihilate some of the steel type options against you? So a bunch of different ways to build it. There's even people who build it with multiple punches. You have to look at how your team's going to work and utilize this thing to the best of your team's ability. Good luck with the TM game on this guy. For our next restricted Kanto pick, we have Wigglytuff, a normal and fairy type Pokemon with an attack of 156, a defense of 90, and a stamina of a ridiculous 295. So this thing is tanky, and it's going to be resisting Dragon, Ghost, Bug, and Dark. So an interesting fairy option. It's only going to be weak to Poison and Steel types. And it's going to be running Charm as the fast move. Most likely you're using it for Charm. You could get a little tricky and try Feint Attack, but Charm is the way to go. And for the charge moves, you're going to go Play Rough and Ice Beam. Wigglytuff has kind of taken a back seat because there's other great options, but don't sleep on Fairy. There's going to be teams that are weak to Fairy and not expecting anyone to run to it. I know one of my practice teams right now is weak to it. That team's probably gone, because I have seen some trainers use this, but don't forget about Wigglytuff. You have Play Rough and you have that Ice Beam that will do some damage to those flyers and those grass types, so don't sleep on Wigglytuff. Up next for our restricted pick in Kanto, we have Mew. the Psychic type Pokemon that is a real Swiss Army knife. If you thought Hypno was good, check out Mew. I'm so jealous of you if you have one and it's under 1500. I powered up mine a long time ago, but Mew has an attack of 210, a defense of 210, and a stamina of 225, so it's pretty tanky. It's going to be resisting Fighting and Psychic, only weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost. Now for the fast move, there's only 3 viable moves: Shadow Claw, Volt Switch, or Snarl. They're all pretty fast charging moves, which is why it's only those 3. And when it comes to the charge moves, it has a plethora of moves that you can run. Let's see here. PvPoke is recommending Shadow Claw, Overheat, and Psyshock. I do prefer Shadow Claw on mine. Now when it comes to those charge moves, there's so many ways you could build Mew. You can use it as an anti-meta pick, or you can go Psyshock plus an additional coverage move. They're going Overheat because that's going to destroy a lot of those steel walls, and it's actually going to hit a lot of things pretty hard. But there's Grass Knot, Surf, Focus Blast, Psyshock, Stone Edge, Dark Pulse, Psychic, Ice Beam, Flame Charge, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Solar Beam, Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam, Blizzard, Bulldoze, Wild Charge, and Ancient Power. And those are the ones I could fit on the screen. It actually has 25 moves, and there's still some other moves lower on that list that are still viable, like Energy Ball. But Mew is ridiculously crazy Pokemon to go up against, because you will be playing the guessing game. Will it hit you with a Psyshock with Stab? Is it going to hit you with a coverage move that's going to be the best one for your Pokemon? Did they switch in on purpose with their coverage Mew to get you? So a lot of mind games to play with Mew. Keep an eye out for that one for sure. Up next, we have the alternative to Venusaur. We have Ivysaur with an attack of 151, a defense of 143, and a stamina of 155. It is also a restricted pick, and you might not think it's that great. You're wrong, man. Ivysaur is more tanky than Venusaur because you have to power it up to a higher level to get closer to that 1500 mark. Look at its max CP. It maxes out just under 1700, so it's going to be a higher level. And what's good about this is it's able to outbulk some options, and it does give you better matchups against things that Venusaur wouldn't be able to outlast. One example of that is the Lapras matchup. It does a better job against Lapras, but it is also a grass and poison type Pokemon, resisting grass, electric, fairy, fighting, and water. Weak to fire, flying, ice, and psychic. For this one, you're going to want to run Vine Whip. Razor Leaf is on there, just because there are some teams that run Razor Leaf on their grass type, but the way to go is Vine Whip. You're trying to get those moves out as fast as you can. Then we have Power Whip. It's just an additional extra fast move than Frenzy Plant, but still pretty powerful. And then you have Sludge Bomb, so you have the same coverage moves basically as Venusaur. It's not as powerful as Venusaur, but it is able to outbulk it. So Ivysaur, if you don't have a Venusaur and you still want to use something like it, a great option for you there. So those were the restricted picks for Gen 1. Oh, I forgot to mention Shadow Hypno is a good option as well. More powerful, but also more softer. But now let's look at the unrestricted picks from the Kanto region, which you can use in slot 1 or slot 6. We do have Shadow Dragonite making an appearance on the list. Very expensive option, but pretty powerful. You do have Machamp. Believe it or not, Machamp was pretty good. I did test it out once. It was okay for the team. I didn't build a good team around it, but it can definitely be a strong option, able to delete some of the options like Registeel a lot faster, or Bastiodon. You do have Dragonair and Shadow Dragonair, pretty good options from past cups. We do have Primeape. If you do have a Legacy one, the Legacy moveset has Cross Chop, but Night Slash and Close Combat does make a pretty good option. If you haven't tried it out, check it out. I've heard some good things about it. You do have Snorlax, which could be a good option. Clefable, if you need a Fairy type and you didn't want to use Wigglytuff for your first slot, Clefable is one you can sneak in at your 6th slot and have some awesome coverage. It has Meteor Mash and Psychic, pretty good moves there. Then you have Lickitung, so you definitely want the exclusive Lickitung Raid Day move, Body Slam. There was some talks about Blastoise, haven't really seen that used. Then you have Victory Bell, a great Razor Leafer. The Shadow one is also strong there. And I have seen some buzz for Hitmonchan. It's okay. And then we have Poliwrath, always a good option there. And then the rest of the list kind of dwindles down, but if you do have Charizard picked up some steam because the grass types got a lot better. So don't count Charizard out yet. And after that, Kanto gets interesting, but everything else is pretty spicy after that. Maybe Magneton, but nah, everything else is pretty spicy. Oh yeah, the only not spicy thing that is definitely popular as a extra slot 6 pick is Haunter with Shadow Claw, Shadow Punch, Shadow Ball, or with Sludge Bomb if you want that extra coverage there. Definitely a good option for you to use. No disrespect to my Haunter fans out there. Haunter! Alrighty trainers, there you have it. Those are the best Kanto picks for the Voyager Cup. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment again down there below. Who are you using? Let me know. Let the community know. What do you think is the best Kanto option or options? And until next time, trainers, battle on!